What's up with it? Welcome back, FlipSide Nation. Y'all already know how we do. Got a real important guest today. He gonna bring a lot of knowledge. Gonna speak about the game of chess. Let's get this one to 1,000 likes. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and when you comment, it'll help the algorithm push it to like-minded people. So let's go on and get ahead and get into this interview with Coach Leon. How you doing today?
What's going on, brother? How you feeling, man?
All right, man. Nice to meet you.
You as well, brother. Very nice to meet you,
We
man.
communicated on, social
Yes,
media,
sir.
and I'm glad you reached out to come on our platform because we like to speak to positive brothers who making a difference in the community.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
So tell me
sir.
a little bit about yourself, like, where you from, because, a lot of guests that came on thus far, we have previous history, but to someone who I just met a couple of weeks ago through conversation, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I would say people will say I'm a brother. People will say I'm a son. People will say I'm a father because I've taught so many kids. People will say I'm a cousin. People will say I'm a friend. But I'm a strategist, bro. Like, at the end of the day, where I come from, if you don't think, you can lose everything. Freedom and life.
I like that.
Because at the end of, when people think about what they want to be in life, it's all about having a strategy.
I agree.
You have to know the steps.
I agree.
So, a little bit about myself is exactly what I said, but also I'm the oldest of three, four, I guess, and I'm a only child for my mother. But that would be what the usual person would say, right? I really want to get into the things that I was gifted with, and that's being able to talk to children on a level that they can understand.
What neighborhood was you raised up in?
So I was raised in Bond Hill.
Bond Hill.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What high school?
Nope. Went to West High.
Okay, West High.
Yes. Which is an interesting story because in the 10th grade, I was expelled from all Cincinnati public schools. Had to go to a place called Life Skills, which would basically be like a Don today. You know what I mean?
Familiar with it.
I don't want to say that Don was what Life Skill was, but Life Skills was full of kids who couldn't go back to regular school. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of kids that was like-minded in that situation.
Okay.
But went to Life Skills, got expelled from Life Skills as well.
Dang. So that sounds like you was getting into some trouble.
I lived a very interesting life, just my mentality, not wanting to do things my way. You know what I'm saying? But willing to stand on whatever comes with that, which again is chess. Once you move the piece and you take your hand off the piece, that's it. It's over. You can't move it back. You can't do none of that. You got to stand on whatever the consequences are.
Repercussions behind actions.
Every time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, yes, sir.
So luckily, thankful for you, you didn't end up in some of the, bad choices and bad decisions led me to prison at 17. But you was fortunate enough that you didn't have to go through that, even though you was expelled from.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, but then some would say, right, like there's a difference between prison and jail. To a person like myself who never been to prison, to me, it's the same, right? Because when yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like when I did have to serve 30 days, and I went before the judge and he explained that to me. I was like, man, you got me in prison. He was like, no, this ain't prison, son. This is jail. There's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? So, but to a person who's never been and you know what I mean? Like didn't have to go through anything like that. That's kind of like the same thing to them. They don't understand the difference because they've never seen the difference. They only see what's on TV. You don't see the county on TV.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you see prison. You know, so that's your only thought of what being behind bars is like.
Incarcerated is a good word.
Yes, sir.
When you're in jail, you're incarcerated. Prison, like two different things. In jail, you can serve time for misdemeanors there, but when you get to serving time for felonies, you know, get different on your record and everything. So it's like a long line of a different effect.
Right.
That, you know, one can have over the other.
Yes, sir.
So
yes,
when
sir.
you got kicked out of Cincinnati Public and then you went to the life skills, did you learn anything in life skills? I remember coming up, and I'm not for sure the name, so I want to ask the question. When you went to the life skills, did you get, like, could you get a trade? Because I remember people going to some and they could get, like, become an electrician or learn about HVAC. Is that the same thing, or I'm mixing life skills up with something?
No, not at life skills.
Okay.
You just basically did everything on a computer. That was kind of like the first introduction of, like, going to school and everything being on the computer. You know, because everything you didn't write anything. You just went and did all your work on the computer.
So what year you come out?
03.
Okay, okay. So
Yes,
I'm
sir.
a little older than you, 03.
Yes, sir.
Which I'm a lot older than you, I'm down here. After high school, any college?
Yes. I went to college. And that was probably one of the better choices in my life. You know what I'm saying? Was my pops used to always tell me, like, you got to get away. You know what I mean? Like, if you choose to go to college out of town. Okay. Don't stay here and go to college. Like, and I understood why he told me that, hindsight. But I went to college and had $700 in my pocket. You know, but I wanted to get away at that time, you know. So when I did get down there, I had a homeboy whose brother was killed in our neighborhood. Rest in peace to Buddy, because they always say you never die until the last person says your name. You know what I mean? So you try to keep those that you love and that you cherish alive, you know. So went down there with $700, stayed with him for a month, ended up staying down there for 3 years. Okay. Now, the story behind that, though, was when I got down there, that was my first time ever being out, so I ain't know how to pay no bills. I had never paid a bill before in my life, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, Mom Dukes pretty much had to come in because I was living with nothing. I lived the first 6 months of my stay in my own apartment. I had a sleeping bag, not a sleeping bag, a air mattress. I didn't have a pillow, I didn't have a blanket, a radio, and my clothes. That was it. But that was all I needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, for the peace of mind that I got from that versus being back in the city, you know.
Man, let me touch on something, man. I want to give your father props, man, because, you know, as a parent, and speaking as a parent, two of my daughters, one went to college in Columbus, one going to college in Dayton. And my youngest daughter, she chose to go to North Carolina A&M or
A&T?
A&T.
Okay.
Yeah, so she taking up biomedical engineering. But, you know, from a parent perspective, it definitely costs more going to college out of town
state,
as opposed, out of state as opposed to in state. Because I'm like, shit, why you can't go to UCLA?
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, that's a sacrifice that a parent, you know, actually got to make. Because I'm glad that she is, you know, gonna come out with a great career. But it's like, damn, like it's. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for your father, I wouldn't give that same speech to my kids.
Right.
You know, we got some good colleges around here, or maybe Ohio State. You know what I mean? But I'm hearing about it's a black college and a good experience, and I heard they real tough with the engineering program. So you know, it's but I'm like, damn, let me give your daddy, you know, some props, because I wouldn't have been telling my kids that.
Because I mean,
if you that cost, you know what I mean?
If you stay here, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you still gonna be coming back home for whatever you may need. You're not gonna understand the real struggle that it is sometimes to be an adult, to be on your own, to be, like you're gonna develop a mindset to where you don't want to. See, I'm the oldest of four. Like I said, I got three sisters, and I'm the only man, the only boy, right? So when I got to college, it was like I can't call home. I know my dad got a Pop's taking care of the family. You know what I'm saying? Like I know he got that money could be used towards them. I got three behind me. You know what I'm saying? So that was my mentality. So I was like, I'd rather do with the bare minimum.
Yeah, my youngest daughter, she know it's two behind hers. It's still in high school, but she gonna pick up.
She said,
like, that is you gonna make out your list and tell me how much money you need. How much is the stuff costing that you need to go get? You know what I'm saying? Like we got to come up with some budget in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some of them little meals I showed her how to make your little tuna salad. And it can't be no fast eating.
Yeah.
Eating
every day.
Like, we got to figure this out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's a fact.
So what was your major?
So I majored in recording engineering. So I went to a school called Full Sail University.
Okay.
It's known for pretty much entertainment.
Yeah.
So like music, which is something that most people was going for, but it was another program called show production that I really want people to start thinking about. Show production is the people behind the scenes. Gotcha. They are the people who are making a lot of money on the low, just doing simple things, and really learning the craft. And you get the benefit of being in concerts, rodeos, boxing matches,
possibility.
You know what I mean? You could be everywhere, you know what I mean? And so that's one thing that I've done. But to go back to what you said was recording engineering. So that's basically learning how to make a beat.
Okay.
Being in front of the big studio mixers, excuse me.
Yeah, okay.
And that's it. Like you learning, but each panel is the exact same, but it might be 47 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you learn how to actually do that in Full Sail. If you ever choose to go to Full Sail, please don't go online. Don't go online. Go get the real experience. Like, trust me. So
I'm an infant when it comes to that type of stuff. So I'm
yeah.
hearing you, but it's like, wow, that's like light years away from the type of stuff I grew up doing. You know what I mean?
My
Did you get
dad.
your degree in engineering?
So, no, I graduated with a 1.8. You needed a 2.0 to get that piece of paper.
You was close.
I was real close.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget calling home and I was crying. My sister, she gonna crack up about this, but it's the truth. The oldest of the three, I'm the oldest. I would call her and I was talking to her because she went to college out of state. All my sisters went to college out of state.
That's a blessing.
And I called her and I told her I ain't graduating. I'll never forget. She said, it's just gonna make your story greater when you tell it. And
setback for a major comeback.
Yeah, and that sparked me. That sparked my interest. Gave me some life.
Yeah.
And so from that move and it not going the way that I planned it to go, I took the understanding of the board, basically, like what was around me. I got all these music producers around me, but they don't got nowhere to showcase any of this off. I know some people that make great beats in my school right now. I'm just talking about when I was there, but they have no place to show it off. The school doesn't have a showcase, none of that.
Yeah.
So a girl I was with, she believed in me. She believed in me for an idea that I had called beat battles. Yeah, I saw it. It's not something that I invented. I saw it on TV or on YouTube at one point in time, but it was in another place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, why don't we have any of those here, right here, in this whole school full of music producers? Why we don't have somewhere where we could show this off? And so she gave me the money for my second one. Okay, so the first one I put the flyers out in my school. I was working at Sears, and I had 7 people show up. The very first one, I think I had 4 producers, and I didn't make a dime. So the lady that allowed me to do it for free the first time, so that's when my girl at the time came and gave me the money on the second one, because she just believed in me. So she saw the failure, or you know what I'm saying? I guess the potential. I'm not even gonna call it a failure, because she saw that. She was there with me. She witnessed it. You know what I'm saying? And she still believed in me enough because, or excuse me, not because, to give me the money to do it again. I did it again. I made $3,000.
Okay.
On the second try, just, you know, doing what I did, but just putting the grit into it, putting the grind into it, you know. And that was the most money I ever made in 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, 3,000 is a lot to a 22, 23-year-old kid. Like, notice I said kid.
So we had a brother come on the podcast. His name Terry Johnson, and he wrote a book called Copy and Paste. So really, everything in life, like right now, ain't nothing new under the sun. So the fact that you seen somebody doing something elsewhere, you was able to copy and paste it and do it where you was at, like that was wise, that was smart.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It ain't got to be. You ain't have to make it up.
Right.
It's like, I don't know who was first, Uber, but then Lyft came behind it. Then I don't know if McDonald's was first, then Burger King came out of it, and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
So it definitely ain't nothing wrong with, Amazon. They copied off of somebody. You know what I mean?
Now, I would say that it's a rule to that. I think if you know somebody or you met somebody personally, you know what I'm saying, and y'all discussed an idea, and then you turn around and then go take it.
Yeah,
that's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's completely different. But I totally agree with what you're saying. You know what I mean? If you could see what somebody else is doing and you could see how that could be helpful in your area, bring it there. Put your spin on it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so let me give you an example. We had a club. It was called Club Plush, and a guy I knew, he came out with an energy drink. I think it was called Sex Drive or something like that.
Okay.
So he brought the Sex Drive drink to us, and he was like, man, let me just, sell this in y'all club, whatever. So he had the bottle girls. I mean, like a little can, remind you of a Red Bull, but it was called Sex Drive.
Yeah.
So he brought it there selling it. So when me and my partners was in a meeting one week, one of the partners was like, man, we need to figure out where he getting that Sex Drive drink from, because we can probably buy it cheaper than what he getting it for. So he got looking online. He like, boom, I found it. He getting it from a company out here in California. This how much a case costs. This how much he charging us. So I'm like, hold on, man. I'm like, dude came from the streets and I started his little business. Why are we trying to, that little amount of money we about to save, it ain't going to affect us.
Yeah.
But him not making this money from us might really put him out of business. So then my partner was like, and he was an older guy. My partner was like, man, listen, if he did business right, he would have went to them and got, he would have had, like, say, a contract with them that can't nobody in the Cincinnati area buy this from y'all besides me. So it might be like, say, a Walgreens or something. They might have in the contract another Walgreens can't open this amount of miles away from them.
Yeah.
So he was like, if dude didn't do his paperwork or set his structure up right, that ain't gonna stop us from going. I'm like, that's backdooring somebody. He's like, man, you got to get your mentality together. Like in the streets, you can't do nothing like that. But right here, this is good business. You calling it backdooring, but I'm saying we going straight to the source. And I'm like, I still didn't agree with that. You know what I mean? But I guess in business, like some things that people do in business, it's really good business. Ain't nothing technically wrong with it. But when you come from a background of where I come from, that's like you stealing somebody's idea. I get it. If he was smart, he would have had the contract set up right to where can't no club in the Cincinnati area buy this. They all got to go through me. I'm the middleman. But he probably didn't know that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So is it lack of knowledge, deserve to how somebody getting beat? Or do you need to come into an industry knowing the, you know what I mean?
Okay. I'm gonna give it to you from a street perspective. I think this is the perfect opportunity to showcase this, right? Let's say you got a plug. right? And the plug tell you gonna be my Cincinnati connect. Keep that part in mind. The plug tell you gonna be my Cincinnati connect. And so you going out, you doing your do out on the street, somebody finds out who your connect is from the same area, and they go to that plug and they say, what's up? Is it the plug's job to say, I'm not going to distribute to you, I got my man over here? Because really, in that situation, to me, like how you said, the plug didn't have no loyalty to nobody.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like...
That go back to the first thing you said. Now, if we partners and you know who my plug is, and you go behind my back, that's different.
Right.
But if it's just we in the same city, I might not even know you.
Exactly.
Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
it get real technical.
Right.
You know,
or
I know where you're coming from.
Or I might see what you doing and try to seek that out. Like, oh, he got, you know what I'm saying, flame over there. Like, so let me try to seek that out. And he just so happened to come up on it. You know what I'm saying? Like your man said, we got to find out where he getting it from. You know what I mean? So that's an interesting way. I just thought it was a great time to put it perspective so people really understand thinking logically, you know what I'm saying, versus reacting.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's a difference.
I feel you.
One is emotional, one is strategic.
I understand. You're a chess player, so you're a thinker.
Yes, sir.
I understand that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Believe me, I understand. How did you end up back in Cincinnati? So after you started that, like, how did you end up back in Cincinnati?
Man, I ran out of places to go. To the point where I just had to accept, like, all right, it's time to go back home, bro. You did what you came for. You accomplished it. You know what I'm saying? And you accomplished more.
Yeah.
You know, like you saw what you was made of. You got to see your grit, your strength. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a failure. You know, it's cool to go back home. You're going to go back home with that belt. You know what I'm saying? That champion belt. Because, you know, you only had $700. Like, look at where you came from. Right. You know what I'm saying? To turn that into 3 years, man, go back home with a smile on your face.
That's what's up.
And I did. I did, man.
I like that. On your social media, man, I came across something, and it was kind of like intriguing to me.
Okay.
What's the difference between driving and traveling? I was lost, like, with that. Like, I was, you know what I mean?
Well, in that sense, I started like that. So for me to start understanding law, I saw people talking about it. I saw people talking about driving versus traveling. I saw them winning in court, you know, not physically there, but on you know what I'm saying, on YouTube. So I began to get into what the difference was. I wouldn't recommend nobody do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a lawyer, you know, so I'm just somebody that studied law. Yeah, you know, right? You know,
I ain't never heard of this.
Yeah, you know, it's
So if it's something that's like I'm gonna say like questionable or something that we on the fence of if somebody should be doing it or not. And if it could get them in a compromising situation, then I'm going to say I don't want to put it out there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If it ain't nothing that we could, like, stand 100%, like, behind as it's going to make somebody, you know.
You can stand behind it if you know what you're talking about when you go into that situation. But if you just like, I heard this on YouTube, you got to get your ass.
Yeah, yeah. It could go both ways, and I'm a living example of that.
Okay.
I have 11 driving with no license, driving with no insurance, driving bad tags, suspended license. Like,
before you go, FlipSide Nation, we don't support that. We want you to get your license. We want you to have insurance. We want you to do them things. So this us talking right now. We listening to somebody's story, but this is not something that we gonna advise anyone to do.
And I wouldn't advise anybody to do it either. So I beat 5 of those myself as my own lawyer.
Okay.
And one of those specific instances was my car was $1,500 to get out the impound. Now, I remember this like it was yesterday because I was going back to my neighborhood and where I'm from, telling people, like, showing my family, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, I'm winning. Like, stuff you go downtown to pay for, I'm winning. Look, you know, people were just, nah, they gonna get you one day. They gonna get you, you know. And they got me. They did. You know, they did. I won, like I said, I won 5 of them. You know, 6 of them I lost. You know, like I had to do 30 days for that. You know, that's where the whole thing I was saying in the earlier, right. You know, came from, you know. So it was an experience for me. You know what I'm saying? It was something that, like I said, I wouldn't recommend nobody do. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's
like
part of your story.
Yeah, you know.
Like I want people to tell their story.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend anybody to do it because it was a lot of scary times during that time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like but that's what also birthed a lot of things within me. You know what I'm saying? Different ideas, you know. So it's a part of the story, like you said.
So who do you normally like speak to about this? Is this something that you speak to like people on social media about? Do people reach out to you for this type of information? Is this like where, you know?
So I do. I speak to the kids. I speak to adults about how to respond versus react when you have police encounters. You know.
That seems like that would be wise advice.
You would think so.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like you would really think so. But a lot of us are not. We have a different side. And that side is reflected in life with people, how people say that we're ignorant, you know, that we act a certain type of way. You know, all of that comes from influence. You know, and this is it's super controversial, but I would say that because I don't have children, but I would say that parenthood is about influence. Who can influence the most? Social media, the music, the movies. It's them versus you. You know what I'm saying? Like, are your words going to overpower in that situation? Or are their emotions going to get the best of them?
That's a good perspective, man. I had a conversation recently because we talked about how they now took, you know, when I was young, you know, we used to get whoopings. And I I would never tell you, like, I got abused, but, you know, we used to get whoopings. So now they now took that power, like, away from the parent, where you can't really, like, I'm going to call it discipline. I ain't going to use the word whoop.
Right.
But they don't want you to discipline your children in the ways that we kind of came up. But this the thing I don't agree with that. If I try to, you know, discipline my kids by whooping their butt and teaching them, like, right from wrong, if y'all get the opportunity to catch my kid out here doing wrong, they can end up dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's like you want the kid to run around because if I try to discipline them, now they got the, you know, feel like they got the power and they can call it maybe get me locked up or something. But if they out here running around doing some shit you don't approve of or they breaking laws, they can end up dead.
Yeah.
So it's like that shit don't even level out. The reason why I'm willing to whoop my kid's ass because I don't want them in a position or predicament to be out here doing something that you would kill them about.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
yes.
It's like that shit can get deep for real. Like
yes.
If we really like, you know what I mean? Like go there.
I think that's a great point to show you something on the chessboard. In chess, there are consequences for every move that you make. Now, when we hear the word consequences, we often think bad.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. But there are good consequences as well if you're planning.
Yep, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like on this game. And people think that chess teaches you how to win. It actually teaches you how to lose.
Never heard that.
Because you are going to so-called fail or learn safely in a safe environment.
Okay.
There's nothing going to physically happen to you. There's no jail. There's no handcuffs. There's no death here.
Right.
All of those things that embody people goes away. So let's just say you move here, and let's say they move here. When we're making this exchange, what we are saying to each other is, if I do something, you do something. Now, in a situation for our children, when it comes to teaching them lessons, whooping is not always, well, it's not the only option. Mm-hmm. We got 14 more options because there's 16 pieces on both sides. We got 14 more moves we could have chose, well, 15 here that we could have chose besides whoopings. Now, I'm not here to say whooping is right or wrong because I got my behind whooped too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, but one thing my dad used to do, my dad would say, in a game of chess, you really want to have your pieces covered. Every piece needs a friend.
Okay.
You don't want to be out by yourself, right? So instead of the whooping, my dad would say, you know what? Here's a small book on 401k, stocks and bonds, and I want you to read that and I want you to write a summary. Okay. That was my punishment. What I'm showing you is that they both still covered me.
Yeah, okay.
But they used different pieces.
Yeah, for sure.
Different thought patterns.
Yeah.
He's still covering because the knight moves in an L shape.
Yeah.
For those who don't know. So he's still covering me. You know what I'm saying? But he just chose a different piece. Mm-hmm. But most of the time we'll choose this piece because that's all we know. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, or we feel like nothing else will work. But I really wanted to show that example of just how there's different pieces on the board that you can use to get the same result.
Oh yeah, I feel that.
You know what I mean?
Because I'm sitting there looking at it, and when you open up like that, I was always taught, like with that opening, you're really trying to
control the center.
Be able to free up your bishop and be able to free up your queen. Because I was just sitting here looking like the bishop could have came up to protect the pawn. So, like, and which, of course, this won't work against you.
Yeah.
Beginner, if you brought the queen up to protect the pawn.
Like here.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, then, like, I'm sitting here looking at the 3-move checkmate. Like,
Scholar's mate.
Bring the bishop up.
Yep, you bring the bishop out here.
Depending on what
and
they
then,
did,
you take here.
But it's like, but you still protected that piece, like, with the queen. But
yes.
I feel you, like, coming up with that knight.
Yes.
Since you broke that board out, tell me this. I used to play. Are you familiar with the opening the queen gambit?
Yes and no. I particularly like the king's gambit.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's my favorite opening. Mm-hmm. And for those who don't know, what he's talking about is a plan. Yeah. It's a plan. You have to have a plan. It's a way to open out the pieces. So what that means is no matter what the opponent is doing, I already know what my next move going to be. Yeah. I already know. This can be related to so many things. For my young men out here, when you walk up to a woman, you should already know what you're going to say. You should already know what the next move going to be. Like, you should already know that. Right. You know what I mean? Right. It's the same thing for people who play basketball. Mm-hmm. Same thing. Go ahead. You was about to ask it.
With the queens, because I'm not familiar with the king, but the queen gambit is like you give up so much, but they so far out of position because they came had to come up and you sacrifice and stuff. But when they look up and they're like, damn, I don't came up with all this, but they so far up the board and out of it, they can't really never bounce back from it.
Yeah.
So when I used to do the queen's gambit, depending on, when I'm opening, I'm looking at what they doing. I'm like, oh shit, they know this. Like, you know what I'm saying? So what they know, I'm looking at how they moving when I'm doing what I'm doing. Like, oh shit, he know
yes,
what I'm
sir.
doing.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean? So
yes, sir.
Yeah, chess is like, I like the fact that you teach this, man.
That is called recognizing patterns. What you just said, like depending on how they move, they've been through this before.
Exactly.
So let's take a police encounter, right? And let's say we're driving, we get pulled over. Now, the first thing you should do, remember, I'm not a lawyer. This is just my own personal standpoint on this. First thing you should do is pull out your phone. Again, remember, every piece needs a friend. So if they approach your vehicle, if you notice on what police do, they put their fingerprint on your vehicle on the back of it. That's the very first thing. That's the first contact that they have with you.
I just recently heard about that.
Yeah.
Like if something, I think
Something never happens, you try to pull away to identify the car.
Okay.
They put their fingerprint on the back. They always touch.
Shit like that.
They always touch. So they approach the vehicle. Now, here is where most people might say, "What you pulling me over for?" Let's say the officer says, "Give me your license registration and I'll tell you." Now, this is what we do. We go into emotion and we're going to keep arguing the fact of, "Why'd you pull me over?" Not knowing on the other side, it's a queen right here waiting for us. We got a piece that's unprotected.
That's cold.
Because all we want to do is focus on the emotion. That's it. And that is the difference between responding. Well, let's show what a response will look like. A response may look something like this. That's the protection. That's extra protection on this point right here. You know? And that could be us just after they tell us, "Hey, I'm gonna give it to you after you give me your license and registration." That's us saying, "Okay." But what we don't understand is that if they have to tell you while they're pulling you over, and if they don't tell you, then that's something for you to be able to have protection on. Because you got your camera out, you already asked your question, they told you that they was going to give it to you afterwards, you said okay. You didn't try to tell the officer what he should or what he shouldn't be doing.
So you actually teach this at Cincinnati Public?
Yes, so I have taught this at Cincinnati Public. I taught at 3 different schools. I've taught at Talbot House. I've taught at 2020. I've taught with Urban League. I taught with, we do have one coming up in June with the Cincinnati Library.
Okay.
So that's going to be a class in the Pleasant Ridge library branch. And that's in June. And you can go to my social media and I'll be posting stuff about that too.
Tell the people your social medias right now since it came up.
Sure. It's helping All InnerCity Read. And it's separately is helping all InnerCity is one word and read at the end. So you'll be able to find out more about that. So if they got kids, you bring your kids over, you know, it's a free class, don't cost you anything, you know, to come and learn the basics of chess.
And is that actually a nonprofit or?
My program? No, my program is not a nonprofit. It is a for-profit. So I like to collaborate with a lot of different people as far as getting the message out. That's what it's about for me. I think we already have a strong network really right now. You know, I just think it's all about how to align them together.
Okay, I feel that.
You know, we have a lot of strong entities who put people in, help to put people in prominent positions. As an example, our fraternities and our sororities. These are prestigious clubs to be a part of, you know, and they put people in prominent positions, you know. So I would love to see more of like that type of collaboration with those people who are in those prominent positions, because a lot of them are about serving. And I'm not here to say that they don't do anything, because I've seen them do things. I would like to see more if that's something that they would be interested in. But I think that would just be a great look to collaborate with those younger ones that you see, or those younger programs that you see doing things in the city, you know, versus us going somewhere where it too much hasn't played in our favor. You know, a lot of the same people kind of get the money over and over and over again. you know, based upon a lot of times relationships.
Man,
You know what I mean? Like,
Time.
a lot of times it's relationships,
Sure.
you know, so let's use some of those relationships that are established now through our fraternities and our sororities, you know, to basically pull a hand back. You know what I'm saying? Like, here you go. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would be a great look to start seeing more of.
How did your collaboration happen with the Urban League? I know I heard a lot about the Urban League. Haven't never dealt with them personally, but I heard a lot about them.
So a young lady named Eve, shout out to Eve, she saw what I was doing with the kids. We haven't talked about it, but with the lawyer card, she liked that idea, which is a card that has your rights on there. So whenever you have an encounter with the police, you pull the card out, let it do the talking for you. She liked that idea, and she also really liked the game of chess and how I teach it. Because I don't just teach it as just moving some pieces.
For sure.
You know, that's one of the gifts that God has given me, is to be able to relate these things to life in a way that other people are not able to. Mm-hmm. You know, I won't even say they're able. Well, yes, I will, because I'm one of one. You know what I'm saying? Just like you are. You know what I'm saying? Just like whoever just heard that is. You know what I'm saying? There is nobody else like you.
Ain't nothing bad about that.
You know what I mean? So
Facts.
that ain't me. that ain't me trying to gas you up. That's the truth.
That's the truth.
You know what I'm saying? So, yes, the Urban League we got started like that. She pretty much just asked me to come out. You know, she liked the style. She liked what I'm doing. So she was like, hey, you know, I want you to come out and teach our Young Black Professional. It's the Young Black Professional group. So that was a great look. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying, for that to happen. So I'm always grateful.
So tell me something you want to use our platform to bring light to.
The law. The law. I think that is a very huge missing piece. We are on our children about chores, cleaning up their room, washing dishes, taking out the trash. But the last thing we are worried about is their encounter with the law. And we know that they are going to have one. So if you logically think about what we're doing, we are sending our children out to a war that we know is going on with no weapons in their hand. Just want you to sit with that for a second. We know the war going on outside. We done seen it happen. Your child is never too young. Tamir Rice was only 11. They're never too young to start it. So what I like to do is I like to go meet our people where they're at. So I go to the trenches. I go to the hoods. I'm on the blocks with the so-called hoodlums and YNs, and I'm outside, you know. And I was just having a conversation earlier today, and I told him I was just in Winton Terrace. He was like, man, you was in Winton Terrace? And I'm like, yeah, by myself. You know, asking people, do they know what their law is? And again, I'm not a lawyer, you know what I'm saying? But I understand that it's something that is needed.
I feel like that's positive.
I believe
everything that you just said about, you know, the parents teaching the kids to clean their room and doing this and doing that. It's some parents out here doing that, but it's not really enough.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many parents. If we look at the news at nighttime, the reason why they got to come up with that curfew is because there's too many kids from our community out there running wild downtown and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, my youngest is 16 now. 16, like, got a location on the phone, but they not about to be out. None of my kids about to be out running around at no 10, 11 o'clock at night. So
right.
This comes with the parents needing to do a better job of, now I get it, like with the stuff that you're saying, I would want my kids to learn this information because, you know, they got license driving, whatever. Yeah. This is something that you need to know.
Yes.
But you got some of these parents who not parenting and they kids out here running wild. And that's what
Yes.
the whole thing, I came up with this Prices Initiative nonprofit for the sole sake of us trying to build a stronger community. And I feel it starts with parenting. Frederick Douglass got a saying, it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. And some of my guests I know ran that by, they be like, nah, man, you know, old people. Like, I'm not saying forget the old people, but I'm saying if we catch the youth when they younger, we might be able to build and mold them into productive citizens where they don't gotta be like somebody like me that now spent 17 years in prison. You get what I'm saying? If we could catch them young, and part of the reason I went astray was because I didn't have like my father was, addicted to crack. My mother was an alcoholic. So I come home from school, Mom, I'm gone, boom, I'm out the door. They ain't never asked me about no homework, no nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My girlfriend at the time in high school, which ended up becoming my wife, we was getting progress reports. So the teacher fill out the progress report, write a grade about you, do. Me and her share the locker. So I go to the locker, she's like, let me see your progress report. I'm like, boom. She's like, my dad gonna be mad, I got 1B. I'm like, damn, I'm looking at her, she's like, she got all A's and 1B.
Right.
I'm like, wow, I got all D's and F's.
Yeah.
And she was like, how you gonna take that home? I'm like, take it home. I'm about to sign this right now, throw it in the locker.
Right.
Like my parents don't care nothing about no stuff like this. But I feel like if my parents would have been on me about school and grades, my dad, if I was an athlete like my older brother, he would have been, he got a chance to go to the NFL.
Yeah.
But I was too little, I was too small, I couldn't. So I was like, I ain't gonna say my dad don't love me or was throw away the key, but he knew I couldn't be no meal ticket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I could have became a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer or something.
Yeah.
So it's like, I be telling the parents in the community, the Little League football fields, they be packed. They out there with lawn chairs. Because everybody want to see everybody want their kid to be that gift, want their kid to be that millionaire. I tell them, your kid got a better chance of becoming a doctor than they do making it to the NFL.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So I really be on parents' heels about becoming better parents to their children than what we really got going on in our community.
Yes.
And that just sparked me because you was like, we teach our kids how to do chores and how to do this, and like we should be doing that. But some of the parents out here not even doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that was just, man, excuse me, man. I just get a little.
Nah, I mean, I can understand that, because I would say to that there are a lot of parents out there that are doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was a kid that I had both of my parents. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and my dad was married. You know what I'm saying? So I had another mother.
Gotcha.
And both of those women did two different things. My mom, that my blood mother, she was always there. You know what I'm saying? But she was more street sense. She understood the streets a lot better. My father, he knew, but he's a man of mystery. You know what I'm saying? So, I can't even really say, because I know he ain't told me everything, but he done told me a lot. You know what I'm saying? But my mother, which is the woman that he married, she would be on me about my language.
Gotcha.
If I said something that was not correct, she's correcting me right there.
That's a good thing, right?
And I could not stand it as a child. You know what I'm saying? Used to not like it, but it made me know, like, all right, when I go talk to her, I know I got to come correct.
Exactly.
And when I'm around her, I got to say things properly.
A good thing.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that to say that I still chose to do what I wanted to do.
Okay. Yeah,
You know what I
we
mean?
definitely
Like,
come to an age where
yeah,
it's up to us to make
it's just
choices.
like, this just what it is. This is what I'm going to do. No matter what you say to me, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Now, I do believe that comes into influence. Again, what I said earlier. Because even when I chose to go that route, I still heard them voices in my head.
That's a good thing, right?
I still heard those lessons in my mind.
Yeah.
My mama used to tell me, and she don't play chess, but think about the worst that can happen first, and then see if you want to be a part of whatever going on.
Great advice.
Think about that part first, because if you think about that part first, that'll really tell you if the outcome is that, I don't want no parts of that.
100%. I wouldn't have ended up with my
Right.
first case if I knew that.
And that was something that saved my life, bro. Many a times, you know what I'm saying, was those voices, those lessons, you know what I'm saying, of them in my mind, even though I still was making my own choice, but it was a lot of that happening in my life. And I think that's a lot of, again, influence. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to always be like my dad. My dad is my superhero. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, I want to be better than him. You know what I'm saying? So I used to get caught into comparing myself to my dad. You know what I'm saying? My dad, nah, your father is the only man on this world that really wants you to be better than he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, truly, like without no kind of backdoor, you know what I'm saying? Like, got this hand behind my back type of situation. He really wants you to be better than him. So if you have a father, you know, cherish him. You know, my father's still here. But to the mothers out there, you know, seek a good male figure in your child's life. Even if it ain't your boyfriend or a potential or none of that, just seek a positive male figure that's really doing some work in your child's life, because it's just good to have that perspective. Moms can give it to you a certain way, but it'd be a man energy. You know what I'm saying? Like his tone, you know, like the way he says it. That all resonates with a young man. You know what I'm saying? Even with a young woman. Same thing. It's just something about that man. You know what I'm saying? To have that in your life. So put them around positive male figures. Even if you got little girls, like, you know, I still think they should have that or be able to see that at least. You know, because I do believe you got to have a man to teach a man to be a man. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a woman to teach a woman to be a woman. You know, because we're all not born men. That's something that we have to earn. I think every man could agree with that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had to earn the title of being a man. Until then, you a boy or you a male. You know, so a lot of people don't like to go into that, but I like to correct people when they use certain terms, and then they be like, yeah, if you a man, you know, that's what you know. No, men don't operate like that. We got to give respect to the men who actually earned it and they standing on that. We got to start giving them that respect. So let's refer to these people as who they are. If they males, they males. That's cool. It's all right.
Yeah. Men got to do men things. You know,
that's a fact. That's a fact. But we got to give respect to them, though. You know what I'm saying? We just can't call them a man because they have a sexual organ. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what makes you a man. Nah, being a man, to me, is like, you got to have certain qualifications. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't got nothing to do with how much money you got or nothing like that. Like, bro, it's about integrity, honor. You got to have moral codes within yourself. That's what being a man to me is. You got to be able to take care of yourself, yes. You know what I'm saying? But it's more about what's internal that makes you a man.
If everything go like well for you know, your program, what you running, where you see yourself in 5 years with it? Like, is this something that can be throughout the Midwest? Could it be bigger, or you just, I'm cool with just being in Cincinnati? Like, what's your
first of all, what I want people to know, and what I want is this. This is called the lawyer card.
Okay.
The reason for this is to save lives. Okay? And I want you to take it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're very welcome. The reason for that is to save lives.
Tell our people, our viewers, how they can get one of these. Because I got some people that's out the state and everything that follow the podcast.
Yes, sir. So you can always go to Helping All InnerCity Read. You can see the website there, or you could just simply inbox me. Helping All InnerCity Read is my business page. My personal page is Lermain Washington, Lermain, and that's on Facebook only. Other than that, Helping All InnerCity Read, you can get yourself a lawyer card. It's something that is not optional. You know, I believe it's mandatory. And as far as where I see myself in 5 years, you know, I don't know the plan, bro. I don't know the plan. And I say that because I was having a conversation this morning, and again, we were talking about me going to win tears. And he just thought that was like a scary place, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and with that lawyer card, I go to, I guess, some of these scary places. Right. And I'm by myself. And I walk up to groups of us. And I really want to say this because you can see the hypnotism on their face, because they're looking at you like, who are you? What do you want? We ain't never seen you before. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you just walking up over here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't look like you about to be asking us for some drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you do, but we ain't never seen you before. Yeah, right. So when you're in the streets, that's your mentality. Now, the beautiful gift that God has given me to be able to not only use, but to see, is I get to see that wall come down when I walk up to him and I say, hey, I don't mean to mess up y'all conversation, but just wanted to ask y'all, man, y'all know what y'all Fourth Amendment right is? And it's like a whole nother disguise. The disguise comes off. And this is something that I see spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really can't explain it, but the guards come down. The defense, you know what I'm saying, of who are you? Are you a threat? Now they understand I'm not. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, he ain't no threat. You know what I'm saying? He actually coming over here to give us some knowledge. And I get to see us as kids again, starting to use our brain for the first time, thinking. Because knowing that we know the information, yeah, I know what my Fourth Amendment right is. I know what the first is. First is freedom of speech. Yep, that's second. Right to bear arms. Okay. What's the fourth? Man. And I get to see us like that, bro. Mm-hmm. And that's something that is so major to me that I don't think people will ever understand as the reason why I do it, because they see it from that disguise. They're looking at those people from that disguise like, man, they demons, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll try to do anything to you because of this or because of that. Like, you can't do that, you know. But to be in the midst of them and still be able to talk to them, and you see that guard come down, man.
So what's the fourth? We got to remain silent?
Nope.
What's the fourth?
So it's your right not to be searched or have your property seized. Search and seizure.
The Fourth Amendment right.
Yes, sir.
Not to be searched
or have your property seized. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was big. And again, I'm just thankful, bro. Like, for real, I'm really thankful to God because he gave me this gift. I ain't asked for it. I watched the 13th documentary, bro, one day, and it changed my life. It's called 13th. If you ever get the opportunity, watch it. But they talked about the school to prison pipeline. Oh. And how when you're in the third grade, if you can't read, they already start to prepare a bed for you.
Damn, what?
That's how deep into the chess game they go. So when we think that our children are too young, just got to think about stuff like that. And they start to prepare a bed for you. That helped me. That started my company. That's what started helping All InnerCity Read. The thing is, kids would read a book, they would get their hair cut free and get their hair done free. I noticed that we only do that when it's back to school. Mm-hmm. So I started doing it every single month.
Oh, okay.
With no money. Again, just me by myself going to these barbers and these beauticians that I'm so thankful for today. Because they didn't have to do that. They did that out the kindness of their heart. Something about me and something about the idea made them say yes, faithfully, because they understood the mission. And sometimes it's all about who delivers the mission.
I agree.
Because we all, again, are unique in our own ways. We all have a certain way to say things. We all have a certain energy that speaks before we even say a word in certain rooms. So I would say use that power, but again, I couldn't tell you where God gonna take me, bro. I know he gonna do amazing and exceedingly abundantly things, bro, because he already done them. You know what I'm saying? So I remember, and I could do this all day, but I remember I was playing chess at Eden Park one day, and some dude was like, "Man, yeah, you know, you got to do what you got to do because you ain't gonna live forever." I said, "Who ain't?" He said, "You mean you gonna be here forever?" I said, "I never put a limit on what God got for me, and you shouldn't either. You don't know. How do you not know you're that person? And what's wrong with you for believing that?" We still talk about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman. We still talk about all these people. How you know you're not gonna be one of them people to live forever?
Right.
But that's my mentality.
Yeah.
I can't put a limit. I can't put, you know. But what I would like to happen, I say that. What I would like to happen is, man, I just want to touch 1 million or more people with the lawyer card. I want to be able to. Chess is my thing, right? I'm able to use this game. This is what God gave me as a gift to show the art. We like art. We like to see things. We have to see them visually. I could talk about it all day, but if you show me visually, as our culture, I like to see things. I like to see things move. You know what I mean? So this is the artwork, but that's the whole science. It's for people to think before you move, not just on this board, but what you say. Because one wrong move can be fatal.
I want to tell you this, man. I appreciate you for coming on. Appreciate you for um, sharing your knowledge. Um, if it's anything that, I can ever do, you ever got some youth that you think would benefit from hearing my story, like, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Like, I feel like, Creator brought us together for a reason, man.
Yes, sir.
And I want to say thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank y'all for joining us for another episode of the FlipSide Podcast. You know the motto, stay down till you come up. Peace.